Alright everyone, so here's just a quick little 1 week update video on this Arowana. Little blueberry Arowana. Not too little. About 7 inches I'd say. I did swap the tanks out. The other 75 I bought in this little package deal. The trim at the top of the tank was cracked, and the bubbles from the sponge filter was seeping up in there and just kind of slowly trickling down the side of the tank. Wasn't really a big problem, but I got it switched out with this 75 with a black background. It did have some of this white and black sand substrate in it, but I just went ahead and bought a 25-pound bag of more black sand. I didn't really mix it up all too well, as you can see, but I like the look of it. It makes this Arowana's color pop pretty well along with the light. And I'll move this sponge filter here. You can see the catfish in his little hiding spot behind the filter. About all he does is hide. And I had these two out in the bucket while I was swapping the tanks out. I swear that this little catfish in the bucket was already... Well, my battery died, so back to what I was saying. I had these two fish out in the bucket while I was swapping these tanks out. This catfish looks like it's grown a little bit already. Definitely looks bigger than when I got it, just after a week of having it. I have some sinking pellets right now until I get this food on the way. This catfish swallows it just immediately. I'm sure most of you expect catfish to be that way, but just seeing it in person now, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I did turn the filter off to make this video. I'm gonna feed this Arowana real quick. Hopefully I can get him to eat on camera. Using some freeze-dried shrimp, Omega-1. I don't know if they're too big for him, so I broke them up into like half pieces. Then also some cheap floating pellets for right now until the food gets here that I ordered, that Donnie recommended. And while I was swapping these tanks out, while they were in the bucket, the Arowana was staring at the top of the water in the bucket, just hanging out at the top, contemplating something. So I put one of these glass lids over the bucket. Then of course, as I was got the tank all filled back up and going to put the fish back in, got the net around him, and right as I was about to pull him out, he jumped out of the bucket / net. He flopped onto the floor. Luckily there was an old window curtain right next to the bucket down here in the basement, and he landed on that instead of the concrete. But he didn't get beat up at all. His top fin looks a little split up there, but other than that he's fine, still eating. Did take him about 4 days before he started eating, but now he's still a little skittish, but now he eats anytime I feed him. He doesn't eat at all, but I do have a few things sitting on top of these lids just in case he does decide to jump. I'm sure he's not strong enough to lift these lids up yet, but I'm sure that time will be here sooner rather than later. Drop in some of these sinking pellets for the catfish. See if he'll eat quick. He's probably upset that I moved the sponge filter. Yeah, he does not look amused. Of course, he's not going to eat on the camera, but every time I drop these pellets in, it takes about 2 seconds for him to smell them, and then they're gone. Then after that, his stomach's huge. I'm sure as soon as I shut this camera off, he will eat. I think that'll be it for this video.